All right, and now we welcome in Hofstra men's basketball coach Joe Mihalich. Coach Mihalich, you are the second coach we've had on the brunch for the second time. We had Steve Prohm on 3 times, so you're going to have to come on a couple more times. We appreciate you coming on again. Thanks for coming back. How you doing?
That's great. You guys are great. It's fun. It's fun to be with you. It's fun to talk sports with you guys.
Yeah, and we actually we just got off the Zoom a few hours ago with one of your rivals. We spoke to Bill Cohen for an interview too. So we're getting our CAA in.
Great guy, and great coach.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just start off going back to the end of the season. First off, I wanted to congratulate you guys because you won the CAA tournament. You made the NCAA tournament, even though it didn't happen. It's still an NCAA berth. One that Hofstra has not seen since I believe 2001. And of course, you got revenge on Bill Cohen and Northeastern in that title game when you guys pulled it. And so, with the season getting canceled, I just wanted to maybe hear your thoughts on what the experience was like and the roller coaster for you and your team.
Oh yeah, well, Chris, it was, the highest of highs. Absolute euphoria. We're pinching ourselves. We're so happy. And then 43 hours later, it's complete devastation. It's, you're gutted, absolutely gutted. It's such a dream come true to get to that tournament, something you work so hard for, something our guys, accomplished, deserved. When you're getting ready to sit back and watch your name scroll along the bottom of the ESPN ticker and, CAA champions, and listen to the prognosticators say, oh, they're going to play Villanova and Albany. They're going to play Maryland and Greensboro. It's fun to do that stuff. And, it was all taken away from us. And like I said, 43 hours. But, hey, listen, life's not fair. We understand that as individuals and as a group. And maybe a lot of people have died. I mean, listen, we all know this. Over 100,000 people have died. And maybe if we have that tournament, maybe another 25,000 people would have died. So we have to keep that in mind. We have to know that we did the right thing, and the pandemic is just can't control that. You just can't.
Yeah, good point. And the hope is that the worst is behind us and all that. And you mentioned the Villanova matchup. I don't think there was one matchup that was predicted more than Villanova Hofstra when everybody was making their mock brackets and all that.
Everyone wanted to see Jay Wright go back against Hofstra.
Everybody had that.
That's right. I think Joe, I agree with you. I think that committee, they looked for those little subplots. And they think it's cute.
Exactly.
It's cute. I even said to Jay, a couple times, I said, Jay, we were going to play each other. So,
They love doing that stuff. They love the rematches and all that. So, maybe next year if you guys get there again, that could be they could make up for lost time there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Justin Wright Foreman's departure and Deshore Bowie's rise to dominance in the league. It seemed like there was going to be a big void when Wright Foreman left, and you guys had that great season in his last year. I think a lot of people expected you guys to take a little bit of a step back, but you really didn't because of how well Bowie played. So what accounted for, that big step up for Bowie, and how was he able to become the main man this year?
It's funny. It's a great question, and certainly you're right on the money. I mean, everybody for the first 3 weeks, well, now you don't have Justin. Now you don't have Justin. In a strange but wonderful way, Justin Wright Foreman is the reason that Deshore Bowie had such a great year, even though he wasn't here. I think Justin, he left his legacy. He basically taught Deshore how to be a star. And I know it sounds corny, but I'm quite sure they're so close. They're like best friends. I'm sure there are many times he said to Deshore, like, listen, man, I'm gone. You need to step up, and you need to be that guy this year and take big shots and make big shots and make big plays. And Deshore went to a level where I'd be lying if I said I knew he would do this year. I'd be lying. But he went to a level where I just can't believe he got to. And in my mind, he was the player of the year in our conference. And that's no disrespect to the guy that got. The guy that got's a great player. But no one did for their team what Deshore Bowie did for us.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we spoke to you last year, we talked about him, and we kind of talked about how, the trio of him and Eli Pemberton and Justin were, so good for that team. But Justin really obviously was the star. And, I agree. I don't think a lot of people, obviously you figure DeJure gets the bigger, the bigger opportunity. He's going to improve and everything. But, he was incredible offensively, defensively, shot 42% from three. It was really awesome year. But a season that, started a little weird for you guys. You had the loss at home to San Jose State.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, seeing that game, and I was scratching my head a little bit because San Jose State has, been a bad team for a while, and then obviously expecting big things out of you guys. But pretty quickly you turned it around. A few games later, you went on the road to UCLA and you beat them. And as the season went on, we started to see just how good of a team UCLA was. So, just in general, but also in the wake of losing Justin in those early games, how did you guys handle facing the adversity in the beginning?
Yeah, Chris, as you mentioned, we lose to San Jose State at home, which is all credit goes to them. They outplayed us and outcoached us and did a great job. But we're not supposed to lose that game. We all know that.
To be fair, they almost beat San Diego State too. So
okay, that makes me feel a little better, Joe. But and then I think we were able to play well and knock off Monmouth. Then we go to Bucknell, and we got drilled at Bucknell. So we've often said this year, that long bus ride back from Bucknell after that loss, we're 1-2, and we're getting ready to get on a plane and go to play UCLA. So we're thinking like, wow. But as you mentioned, we were able to win that game, and that was a turning point for us. That was the springboard win that we all needed, and it showed us all that we could win. We could beat a good team. We could win on the road. And everybody contributed. It was just an incredible win. It was it was an epic win for all of Hofstra, all of us. But more importantly, it showed us that we could win a championship this year.
And Coach, you've deployed an interesting strategy just in terms of minutes the last couple of years. I'm sure that you've gotten a lot of questions surrounding it. You're dead last in bench minutes. Last season, the year before that, not much higher. Is it a strategy that you intend to continue deploying, or was it just by necessity that you had to do it that way the last few years?
Joe, my assistants always laugh at me because at the beginning of the year I'll say, I think we could go 9 deep this year. I think we can really rotate some guys in, and they're all polite enough and respectful enough to not basically say at that point like, come on, Coach, you're not going to do that. It's not by design. It's really not. It just kind of happens organically. As the season goes on, all of a sudden you realize like, wow, tough to take him out of the game. Tough to take him out of the game. And it's not because we wanted to be last in minutes played. It's just because it was working for us. What you're worried about is at the end of the year, you're worried that, you're going to be tired. But our guys are great. We played 3 games in 3 nights, as you saw, and we played our best basketball for 120 minutes. So it worked this past year. Will it work next year? I don't know. Will we do the same thing next year? I honestly don't know. We're not planning to. I can sit here and say, there's 9 guys that I think can really, really help us next year.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy just in terms of, like you said, it's not totally by design, and I'm sure it's got to be difficult to kind of thread that needle where you are giving the most time you can to the best players, but also, not burning them out. And it'll be interesting to see how you guys kind of do that next season, especially given, you're going to have a couple more big losses this year. DeJure is out. Eli Pemberton also graduating. But I think you guys are going to be right in the mix for another CAA title on NCAA bid. Jalen Ray is going to be back. Isaac Conte's coming back. Omar Silverio, I know, missed some games last year, but he should probably move into a bigger role. What are you preaching to some of your guys in the offseason to kind of get them to the next level and take on those bigger roles? And is there a player or two maybe you see that's a little under the radar that you're excited about the role they're going to play next season?
Yeah, there's a couple of them, Chris. And of course, the only other guy that we could talk about is Tariq Coburn, because Tariq Coburn was a starter and had a really good year. Again, much the same as exactly 12 months ago when DeJure realized he had to step up to a higher level and Elijah Pemberton had to step up to a higher level. I think Jalen Ray and Isaac Conte and Tariq Coburn, and you mentioned Omar Silverio, and we got some newcomers coming in. I think that's the beauty of and the charm of college basketball is that guys, realize you graduate and now it's your turn. And there's a great culture here. There's a culture of there's a winning culture, a culture of high expectations. There's a culture of hard work. And, all the names we talked about and some others are anxious to be the guys next year to help us win a championship.
Yeah, it's funny. We kind of talked about that a little bit with Coach Cohen before, and just in terms of, losing some guys. I mean, they're losing Jordan Rowland and Bolden and Brace, and just kind of like once you have that institutional success and that institutional standard there, a lot of the time some of these guys in lower roles, they tend to fit into the bigger roles a little more seamlessly. So I'm excited to see how they kind of, improve in that sense. I apologize if you guys can hear the street cleaning going on.
No, I'm good. I'm not here.
Good, because
listen, I have to interrupt you though. I need a Brunch Network T-shirt. Those are
yeah, you do.
We got you, Coach.
We got
extra large. I'll give you I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in give you my address. I will proudly, and you guys give me your address. I'll send you a Hofstra T-shirt. Okay,
that's perfect. That's a perfect trade. That's a perfect trade.
Yeah.
It's funny. We've collected some of different colleges' T-shirts, and I have been looking for a Hofstra one. So,
you'll get one within the next 4 days.
That's a perfect trade. So let's talk a little more about the team last season, because one of the keys to success for you guys, and a lot of people thought last year, 2019, you guys were so good. You had that 16-game winning streak. Justin Wright, Foreman, of course. The offense was unbelievable, but the defense wasn't great. And this year was where you really saw some improvements made on the defensive end. I mean, there was a massive jump, and I know how hard that is, particularly in a league like the CAA. So what do you think changed maybe that led to the defensive improvement in a league that has a lot of good offenses?
Boy, you guys ask great questions. That's another good one. First off, again, I got to be honest. I never dreamed our defense would be as good as it was this year. It was exceptional. Now, the first thing is we got to give a lot of credit to my assistant coach, Mike Farrell. He's actually our associate head coach. It's kind of his baby. He studies it. He tweaks with it. He just, he immerses himself in it. And he does a great job with it. He's our point man with that. And I'll be, again, real full transparency here. He'll come to me and say, listen, this is what – pick a team out. Northeastern, we were talking about them. This is what they do against the zone. Here's two or three things we can do to try to combat it. What do you think's best? And sometimes we hammer all three out. We don't always feel the same way, but like every good coaching staff does, we land on something and we're in unison when we walk out of the office. But he does a great job with it, and it became like I said already, it became a really good defense. And one of the reasons, who knows, maybe we could have upset somebody in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, that's you see a lot of these programs that come on the rise, and I think sometimes it's led by either a good offense or a good defense. And when you get that balance, it really makes a difference. So next year, you're going to be in your 8th season in the Colonial, and it should be another good season for the league. We talked about it with you last year, and we've talked about it on our podcast for several seasons how exciting the Colonial is, but also how talented it is. And there's going to be you're going to be up there at the top, and there will be teams like Delaware and Northeastern and Charleston fighting with you, and it's a school like Towson's probably going to try to get in that group, and even a school like Elon and Mike Schrage they've started to see some nice improvements last season. Maybe trying to crash the party.
Drexel's got 3 all-conference guys coming back, so
it's. I mean, and JMU has a new coach. There's a lot of different pitfalls in the league. So I was curious. I wanted to ask
you. Give me a stomachache, Chris. Give me a stomachache.
I'm going to push it a little further. Then I wanted to ask you: is there a certain team or a certain coach that maybe gives you fits that when you're getting ready to play them, you're like, oh man, I gotta do something extra here. I gotta figure something else out.
Boy, I'll tell you what. I really mean this, Chris. I'm not trying to be coy. There isn't a coach in our league that I don't respect the heck out of, and it doesn't give us all the headaches that you could imagine to get ready to play them. Time. I've been doing this a long time. And time was when, you had some coaches that didn't prepare well, or some staffs that didn't work hard, or what have you. That's not the case. The old expression, the coaching expression, whatever league you're in, it's the toughest league in the country. I think our league is the best league in the country that nobody knows about. It's just, and that's our fault. We got to get it out there. But it's a great league. Every coach works his brains out. Is a good coach and recruits, and it's just, I can't pick one out. And I'm not trying to be coy, but I can't pick one out.
Coach, I gotta ask you a question. You say that you want to get the league, the name out there, the teams out there. What is the deal with Flow Sports? Where did that come from? Because we can't watch you guys play as much as we'd like.
Yeah, that's a question for somebody on the higher pay grade. I'm gonna defer on that one.
All right.
But Flow Sports, there's a lot of reasons why it's good. It's and I think it helped us build this relationship with CBS Sports. It probably does take, we're working through some bugs. Probably does take a little more effort to get on there. I mean, it's probably just a couple more bucks a month more to watch the games, but the quality is good once you figure it all out. And it is the biggest thing. Every league wants to be on TV more.
Yep.
And that's our battle cry. That's the coach's battle cry. Even the ADs. How do we get on TV more?
You guys you have a good relationship with CBS. I mean, you get a decent showing on the CBS Sports Network especially. So that's good at least.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have anything else?
Yeah. I just wanted to finish off the interview with one question. Something that I've been thinking about, because we've been trying to interview a bunch of coaches over the course of the off season now, and we were fortunate enough to talk to a few coaches in the SoCon. We talked to Wes Miller at Greensboro, Lamont Paris at Chattanooga, and we talked to Greg Gary at Mercer. And then we also, in Conference USA, we talked to Charlotte's Ron Sanchez. And I feel like with Conference USA and the SoCon, those are two leagues that, I think are really on the rise and in the race for trying to, get those at-large bids. The SoCon almost had it last year. Conference USA has their pod play where they're trying to make it better for their best teams to potentially get the at-large, so it's not just a one-bid league. As well as we do how talented the CAA is and how, a league like this, you want to get to the same level. What do you think is maybe the next step in terms of trying to get the CAA more than just a one-bid league and making it, a bigger mid-major conference?
Yeah, boy, hard question to answer. We could talk for hours on some of the things you need to do that, whether it's scheduling up a little bit more, but it's tough. I mean, once you get good teams don't want to play. So teams in all three of those conferences, SoCon, the Colonial, and Conference USA, once a team gets good, you need to try to schedule outside the conference to try to get a quality win. Well, those quality teams don't want to play it because you're good. They're afraid to lose. Yeah. So, we got close. I mean, we were on our way, I guess, 2 years ago, not this past year. The losses early on killed us. We already talked about this, San Jose State and Bucknell. But we threw any chances we had, any long shot chances we had in that large bid, they were over in 8 days because of our 2 losses. But last year now we had the winning streak. We were something like 21-3, and our 3 losses were at Maryland, at Marshall, and VCU in overtime. Maybe a team like us, we have to win one of those when we have VCU beat. We have to win one of those. Hope those three teams have great seasons so that they really look like quality wins. And then we can't stub our toe at all. At the end of the year, 2 years ago, at the end of the year, we lose to Northeastern at Northeastern. But then we also lost to Wilmington, who was having a down year, and JMU, who was having a down year. So
you got to place a couple more calls to Jay Wright. You got to get him on your schedule every year.
Man, it was. I don't enjoy playing against him because I respect him, and he's been a friend for so long.
Yeah.
You don't want to root for a team you're playing against. It's kind of crazy, right?
One strategy I think we talked. I think it was you could correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Greg Gary at Mercer, and he was talking about scheduling like a Belmont or a Murray State or a team where they're in a mid-major and, they want to play you. And, it does help your resume because they are a really good team within the mid-major. And I know they used to have like the bracket busters.
They used to do the bracket busters
back then. And, bringing that stuff back would be awesome because, it gives all these schools like more of a chance to shine and more of a, just gives them the recognition they really deserve.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I participated in that bracket buster as a head coach in Niagara. And we had some great games with bracket buster opponents.
Yeah, I don't know the politics behind it, but it was probably there's probably a lot behind that. Well, we won't go into that too much why they got rid of that, but
that's for another show.
That's for a different time. Coach, that's all we got for you. We appreciate it. We'll send you over our info. So and you send us
Chris,
your address so you could.
You've been sending me your emails, Chris. I'm gonna when we get off, I'm gonna send you my. You send me your shirt sizes and I'll send you my address. Okay.
All right, it sounds good, Coach. We really appreciate you coming on again, and best of luck with the off season. And we're looking forward to seeing you play again real soon.
You guys are great, man.
Tell your wife we said hi as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, you guys are great, man. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.